Welcome to a rockin' Court, Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene. We open Pac-12 play tonight, and a huge one for you, number 2 UCLA, as the Bruins are unbeaten, the highest-ranked team to ever step on the floor at Matthew Knight Arena against the Oregon Ducks, who've won a school record 33 straight here in Eugene. The last time an unbeaten UCLA team, they were number 1. They took the floor at Court, the old arena here, and Aaron Brooks hits the game-winning shot, and Oregon would knock off unbeaten number 1 UCLA. And the Bruins' first loss that season, that was the last time that UCLA unbeaten came to Eugene, and the Ducks knocked them off. Along with the Hall of Famer, Bill Walton, Roxy Bernstein with you. And what a treat to be here in Eugene as we open Pac-12 play. And Bill, this has developed into a great rivalry.
Tonight, all of us, we get the chance to live our series of dreams. The umbrellas have been folded. Everyone is here tonight, and every element known to man is on display. For UCLA, it starts and finishes with Lonzo Ball, who is such a special and unique player that it is impossible, incalculable to describe the numbers of ways he can beat you. He is such a complete player, not interested in stats, only cares about winning the game. He can score, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can pass, he can defend, he can lead. He's got remarkable range. Don't ever think about statistics with him. He can block shots, he can steal the ball. This guy comes out to get the job done, and he delivers. Just a freshman, leads the UCLA Bruins in passing, and he's second in assists in the entire country.
On the other side, Bill, Dylan Brooks has to have a big night for Oregon.
This is the guy to win the big games, and this is as big as it gets. You have got to have a guy who can come out and take over. Dylan Brooks is good enough. Whether he'll do it tonight, that's the question. He hasn't had the injury. He's rounding back into form. The way for Oregon to win is to make this game a physical battle. Bring the fight. The Ducks, I've seen them play this year, perfect basketball. They've been up and down, inconsistent, 2 losses already. We'll see what they bring tonight.
On occasion, Bill, you've known to be a little full of hyperbole.
No way.
And overselling a game.
No way.
But tonight, I don't think that's possible.
This is as big a game as I've ever been involved in. Ever.
The Bruins win the opening tip. Isaac Hamilton in the lane. And the rebound, Dylan Ennis for Oregon. Tyler Dorsey with a miss, and the Bruins control.
Dana Altman would like to keep this game into the 70s, maybe the low 80s. Bruins, they just as soon get to 120.
Thomas Welsh, who missed the last 4 games for UCLA with a right knee bruise. And he's fouled and will go to the line for the Bruins.
Jordan Bell is such a critical, important player for Dana Altman and the Ducks. You can't get a foul like that in the first defensive opportunity, less than 30 seconds into the game. When you're as powerful, as big, as tough, as important as Jordan Bell, you got to save those fouls for a crunch, for a hammer, where someone goes to the deck, not just on a little reach in on the first defensive opportunity of the game, please.
So Welsh remains perfect from the line this season. He is now 16 of 16, and the Bruins are on the board first.
A right hyperextended knee. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. There are a number of injuries that will impact this game. Boucher for Oregon hasn't played in 2 games. He's got a sprained ankle.
He's been limited in practice, and Dana Altman tells us he will be available off the bench tonight for the Ducks. Ennis drives and gets the roll.
Dylan Ennis is such an important player for this Duck squad. The oldest guy on the team, a 6th-year player. A guy who can do everything, but is still trying to find his way. Really, that's the story of this Duck team. Who are we? What do we stand for? And what are we going to do now that we got this great opportunity?
Thomas Welsh in the lane for UCLA.
That's Welsh's game. Dana Altman in practice all day was just harping. Besides the here we go constantly, stay with Thomas Welsh.
Tyler Dorsey from deep. And the rebound, TJ Leaf for UCLA.
Dorsey, Isaac Hamilton, Lonzo Ball, all Los Angeles guys, a lot on the line tonight. Welsh looks fantastic early on.
And he
Welsh
was all 6 for the Bruins.
Welsh was magnificent in Kentucky. made huge plays both ends of the court. This is a very, very important player and an outstanding guy from Redondo Beach, Thomas Welsh.
Dylan Ennis, a three.
It's very difficult here with these Oregon Ducks because they got two guys named Dylan. They spell their names differently. Dana Albin's got a play called Bob Dylan, and the city of Portland just renamed 4th Street downtown, positively 4th Street. Throw it down, Thomas Welsh. Traveling violation.
And a walk. And a turnover by the Bruins is Steve Alford in his 4th year at UCLA. He's done a masterful job so far this year, Bill.
What a team. This has been so long in coming. And all the Bruin faithful are just so happy and so excited and so proud. What a team. They play such beautiful basketball. The challenge for Oregon is to make it not a pretty game.
Peyton Pritchard, the freshman, gives Oregon the lead.
Whoa.
Hamilton runs it down. Welsh in the key. Hamilton to the basket.
Lonzo Ball plays at a different level than most players I've ever seen. And his sense of confidence, of control, the assumption that he's going to get it done.
He gave that last basket to Welsh. I'm not sure if he touched it. And it's Dylan Brooks, a three.
Oregon, after a couple of shaky possessions early on, has played flawless basketball. They haven't even had to play rough and tumble, which is a huge advantage for them because they are very tough, very fit, and extremely strong.
Bryce Alford squares up and knocks it down.
Ball movement, UCLA, #1 in shooting in the country, #1 in assists per game.
#2 in scoring in college basketball at over 95 points per game.
Who are they behind?
The Citadel.
The Citadel?
The Citadel.
Isn't that a mountain somewhere?
Dylan Ennis missing a three and Thomas Welsh the rebound. A good start in Eugene between #2 UCLA and #21 Oregon is Isaac Hamilton with his first points.
Up and down basketball, the way we love it in the Conference of Champions. Everybody on fire. Dorsey just playing beautiful. Dorsey has come to play. Dylan Brooks on fire. Peyton Pritchard, just a freshman from Wesleyan, 4-time state champ, 2-time state player of the year. Supplanted Casey Benson in the starting lineup in Maui this year.
Lonzo Ball from deep. And Dylan Brooks, the rebound for the Ducks.
Bruins have yet to get TJ Leaf involved, and that's a mistake. Pritchard heat checked.
Another long shot for Oregon. They're saying it's a 2 for now, that his foot was on the line, but Michael Reed, one of our officials, motioned they'll check it at the timeout.
The great thing about Steve Alford, he will not panic. He'll just keep playing his game, which is offense. His on-court demeanor, Steve Alford, just brilliant, breathes life into the team.
Alford, too strong on the three. And Jordan Bell knocks it free, and a foul going for the rebound. It's against Bryce Alford of UCLA.
Dana Albin in practice today barking about the whole team pounding the boards. That rebounding edge for Oregon will lead to three-point shooting opportunities. First is Dylan Ennis from way behind the line. The quick ball movement. Pritchard, no hesitation whatsoever. And then Dylan Brooks, part of this foursome of Dylans involved tonight, letting it fly.
Three-point lead for #21 Oregon on unbeaten #2 UCLA, and the Bruins are one of 6 remaining unbeaten teams in college basketball, including their crosstown rival, Bill, USC.
Who is also up in the Willamette Valley this week with us.
Oregon State tipping off in about 2 hours from now, but early for Oregon, it's about the three-point shooting.
The flood of offense, which we've been begging for, hoping for, reminiscent of the Missoula flood, which shaped so much of the topography of the great Northwest here. Everybody getting involved, nobody dribbling for their own shots. This is the dream coming true. And that shot by Peyton Pritchard, his foot was behind the line. It was ruled a 3, and Oregon right now is on fire from behind the line. The Bruins just warming up. But the Bruins, they can score so effortlessly. Their game against Ohio State, they didn't play that well, still scored 86 points.
Aaron Holiday in the game for UCLA as Chris Boucher has entered for Oregon.
Dylan Brooks, who grew up Mississauga, Canada, just a suburb of Toronto there. And as so many of the Canadians, they've got the chip on their shoulder. So many of them feel like they're underserved, the undernoticed, the underappreciated. But he is determined. His father is a construction worker in Mississauga. His mom works in the financial services. And he's one of 3 players on this Oregon squad in the last couple of years that have had foot surgeries with metal screws implanted. Changing defense here, and Chris Boucher in the lineup for Dana Altman.
7 straight for Oregon. They lead it by 5.
TJ Leaf has not touched the ball.
A long 3, too strong from Aaron Holiday. And Chris Boucher rips the rebound away from Thomas Welsh. And the arrow points to Oregon on the tie-up.
Rebounds. Dana Altman. Here we go. Everybody pound those boards. Thomas Welsh has been just a dynamic performer early on. Chris Boucher with that bad left ankle.
Missed the last 2 games. He was injured in practice right before the game against UNLV. As Boucher from the corner misses everything.
Just missed.
Lonzo Ball in transition.
One of the reasons you try to get the ball in your best player's hands so early on is that they then don't feel forced.
Ball into the basket off a nice feed from Thomas Welsh.
He never stops moving. In an era when so much of the game is played off the dribble, when guys don't have it, they stop. Welsh sending it all back.
Out of bounds to Oregon.
Best I've ever seen Thomas Welsh play. In every aspect of the game. Offensive rebounds, making his own shots, moving beautifully without the ball, sending him back on the penetration by the Ducks, trimming the wings, clipping their beaks. Lonzo Ball poking that one out of bounds.
For Welsh, already 8 of UCLA's 15, plus he has 4 rebounds. Ike Anigbogu comes in, the freshman from Corona, the big physical freshman at 6'10", 250.
But Lonzo Ball, he's got to realize that TJ Leaf has not touched the ball yet in an offensive important position.
Dylan Brooks lost it out of bounds. Oregon with their first turnover.
TJ Leaf is a big guy. He got all the height in the family. His brother, he's got 2 brothers, one 5'10", one 6'1". I mean, I look eye to eye at him. I'm full 6'11".
And a foul and 1 for Anigbogu.
This is the guy that I just cannot stop gushing about. Ike Anigbogu from Corona, California, in the Inland Empire. And all these guys coming from the Inland Empire. The Ball family, 3 brothers. Now Ike, he's got a younger brother, 10, who's just huge already. And we'll be seeing him in the not too distant future.
Anigbogu ties the game.
He had knee surgery to start this season back in October.
And he missed the first 5 games of the year recovering from that right knee surgery.
But after his magnificent performance against Kentucky, he's just kind of disappeared a little bit, and he's got to learn. He's got to start studying Hakeem Olajuwon.
Tyler Dorsey is open. 3.
Roxy, are you old enough to remember when we were in Maui?
That was only a month ago, Bill.
Well, do you remember the UConn game?
I do remember the UConn game.
Wow.
Going the other way, a foul against Anigbogu of UCLA.
So we got 2 cheap fouls early, one on Anigbogu and one on Jordan Hill. Come on. These are the biggest, strongest. These are the winners of the genetic lottery. And these referees, these little tiny guys out there with their whistles saying, come on, no, man, don't touch him. Please, these are not dirty players. Play on.
Dylan Brooks missing that 3. The Bruins control and Isaac Hamilton.
Aaron Holiday hasn't had the impact that he's had of late as the best sixth man in all of college basketball. Well, that's a traveling violation, please.
The Ducks come away with it. Dorsey leads the break. Dylan Ennis to the basket, the reverse. Foul on Peyton Pritchard of the Ducks.
This crowd. Biggest game ever played in this magnificent arena. Phil Knight is here. Pat Kilkenny is here. With his wife Stephanie. Rob Mullins is here. The people who have built this great state are here, and they have come for blood tonight. They have seen Oregon beat UCLA a number of times. Matt Court. This is a different UCLA team, though.
Hamilton off on the three, and the rebound. Ennis for the Ducks. Dorsey runs the floor. Tyler Dorsey. Largest lead for Oregon.
This crowd is just driving the Ducks to the water.
Gigi Goleman underneath.
Aaron Holiday, what a pass. Comes from a family of ball players. Family of UCLA alums and stars.
What a great pace and a great tempo we have to this matchup.
Beautiful ball movement, Dylan Ennis.
Dorsey spots up. Isaac Hamilton looks to run for the Bruins. Holiday a three. Got it.
Dana Altman spoke relentlessly this morning about transition defense. Not just letting it go wild, but the beautiful thing about UCLA these days, Steve Alford never calls timeout, just says, guys, just keep running, keep shooting, and keep getting the ball to Lonzo Ball. Great defense ball.
Boucher, and a foul is called. And Boucher will go to the line for Oregon as Gigi Goleman called for the foul.
Wow, bailout. Never foul a jump shooter, particularly up against the shot clock. Hi, I'm Bill, you're Roxy, right?
And speaking of a good one, the original shoe dog, Phil Knight, will join us next. Another edition of Walton's World.
Wow, how lucky are we?
Well, it's time for our first installment this season of Walton's World.
In 1938, Phil Knight was born in Portland, Oregon. Then he comes down to the University of Oregon, where he runs track. He graduates, and then he co-founds Blue Ribbon Sports with his college track coach, Bill Bowerman. And then he went on to change the world, as no one else ever has. Michael Jordan, the Fab Five, LeBron James. You look at the money, absolutely incredible. From a $14 million a year start when I first came up here to Portland, Oregon, to $32+ billion today. Nike making $90 million per day. We're privileged to have the author of Shoe Dog, Phil Knight, with us here tonight. Phil, what are some of the things you learned writing this fantastic book?
That's a lot of work. It was 3 years and 8 drafts, as you well know. It takes a long time.
And what is exciting to you about tonight's game in this building named after your deceased son?
Yes, named after my son. But what a great basketball atmosphere and what two great basketball teams. If they keep going as they did the first 5 minutes, the final score would be 120 to 112.
When this building was under construction, there was big arguments as to how big to make it. You won that argument. It seems like Pat Kilkenny came out on the short end of that one.
Well, that's one of the few I win from Kilkenny, I'll tell you.
Phil, what is next for you in your life? You're 78 years old. You got the PK event up in Portland next year. What do you got left?
Well, the basketball tournament next fall is going to be really a lot of fun. My life is great. I'm doing a lot of things that Nike. I'm still very involved with Nike, and my son's running an animation studio that I'm involved with. So life is good.
How about the new Phil and Penny Knight Science Center that's going to be right across Franklin Avenue from the core of campus?
Yeah, we're very, very proud of that. That we think that can really be a very big change for the University of Oregon and Michael Schill and what he's trying to do here, and we can think it'd be of great benefit to really the whole world.
How has the sports world changed in your lifetime in it?
Well, it's gotten huge. That basically, when I started, the total sales of shoes in the United States, sports shoes, was $2 billion. Now it's like something like $30 billion, and that just epitomizes what's happened. The world in sports has just exploded.
And the future for Nike.
We think it's got a great future, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Phil, appreciate your time. I'm going to finally grab a hold of this thing because I know you want to watch the game and enjoy this.
Thank you very much.
Hey, man, will you sign this book for me?
Well, I don't know. You're asking a lot.
Phil Knight, appreciate it. Phil Knight, co-founder of Nike, and of course a huge Oregon fan, as well as booster and a former tremendous student athlete here at Oregon.
Phil Knight, representative of the Conference of Champions, the most important man in the history of all sports. Thank you, Phil, for our lives. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your gift. Thank you for your philanthropy. And thank you for Penny, as the last page says.
And Ibogu gathers and scores for UCLA.
Thank you, Phil. We love you. Thanks for all you do. Conference of Champions, here we go. Phil Knight.
Kept alive by Oregon. 9:45 to go in this first half. The Ducks lead it by 5. Here's Ennis and the pull-up. And the rebound. Here comes Lonzo Ball for the Bruins. Leads a 4-on-3. Drops it off to Gigi Goleman. It spins out, but the follow tip by Ibogu for the Bruins.
Love the Twin Tower lineup for Steve Alford right now. What does it take for there to be a foul called when Lonzo Ball is attacking the rim? And please.
They'll blow the whistle if there's a foul, Bill. Chris Boucher leans in off balance, and the Bruins look to run. It's Ball into the basket. And there, what you were calling for, a foul called on Tyler Dorsey. Bowl triple header on ESPN coming up, starting with South Florida and South Carolina. The Birmingham Bowl at 2 Eastern. Then Arkansas battles number 22 Virginia Tech at 5:30. The Bulk Bowl, our last game of the day, number 12 Oklahoma State and number 10 Colorado. The Valero Alamo Bowl at 9. All coming up Thursday, a bowl triple header. All games available on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
I don't think either UCLA or Oregon made a football bowl game this year, right?
You're correct. They did not. Of course, Oregon.
You sound surprised that I was correct. Anyway, Lonzo Ball. I was talking to him in practice today about why he chose UCLA. I mean, last year, you old enough to remember last year for the Bruins? That solid.
I do remember that rough season for UCLA. That
solid 10th place finish in the Conference of Champions with 12 teams.
This is going okay, Bill.
This year is fantastic, but you know, but he said it was an easy decision. He wanted to stay home.
Casey Benson from deep. 6 threes for Oregon.
But how cool is it for Casey Benson? I mean, they basically blamed him for the Georgetown loss early on.
TJ Leaf, the outside jumper.
They put him on the bench.
Well, no whining. They blamed him for the loss.
Oh, they benched him the next day.
Well, he played. They just changed the starting lineup.
Were you ever on a team?
I've been on teams.
Did you ever get benched?
You've seen me play.
I saw it today.
Lonzo Ball off on a 3. Here comes Pritchard for Oregon.
Lonzo Ball is a spectacular shooter. More importantly, he's a winner. He's like Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, and Steve Nash.
Rattles out for Dylan Brooks, but Chris Boucher hustling for the rebound.
Jordan Bell's got to get involved in this game. Well, confusion reigning supreme. Positively 4th Street. Got to figure that out.
Pritchard has it slip right out of his hands, and a turnover by Oregon, just their second.
This guy Peyton Pritchard is a very good player, but right now it's the 3-point shooting of the Oregon Ducks that have given them a 3-point lead. Casey Benson, left-hander in basketball, right-handed in everything else.
College football playoff is coming, the Peach Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl. The semifinals on New Year's Eve, and the Conference of Champions has a representative in the college football playoff, and these are already the national championships won by Pac-12 schools this academic year.
All time. That's why this is the Conference of Champions, 493, but with Cal, Oregon, Stanford, and USC already winning, UCLA, the #1 all-time team for championships, has yet to climb that ladder. Washington against Alabama. Who are these guys?
Bill, are you old enough to remember dinosaurs?
I am a dinosaur. Have you ever been to Central Oregon?
I have been to Central Oregon. TJ Lee.
Beautiful.
Nice move inside.
TJ Lee, whose dad Brad was a professional player in Israel for 20 years, taught him, all of his sons, how to play ball. His brothers, their scores. TJ is a much bigger, much different player.
Casey Benson squares up in his second three. 7 threes for the Ducks.
Casey Benson, 3-time state champion in high school in Phoenix, Arizona. 2-time state player of the year. The perfect team member and mate in this guy.
Terrific drive by Aaron Holiday.
Why doesn't he play more?
Can only play 5 at a time, Bill.
Take the other guys out.
The other guys are really good too. They have 6 players averaging in double figures. Pritchard from deep, nearly banked it in.
Boucher.
Bill Bigby Williams had it stripped out of bounds. It'll stay with Oregon. Crowd wanted a foul.
Have you read Shoe Dog yet? You hadn't read it in Miami. In Maui.
In Maui. When were we in Miami together? I will have you know.
You haven't read it yet.
I have a book report written for you on Shoe Dog.
You did read it.
A travel call on Dylan Brooks. Bill, this is for you.
Roxy, no, I haven't seen this. How come I haven't seen this? Book report, Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. Fantastic. 4th period English.
I'm in Mr. Walton's class. I even put a quote in there for you,
What's the quote one? Oh, the quote.
Quoting Phil Knight. Travel call on Thomas Welsh.
Okay, I want to quote Phil Knight from page 1.
Okay.
Shoe Dog. Cowards never start. The weak die along the way. That leaves us. And that's what this game is about.
And we have a terrific game.
Whoa.
Eugene.
And the thing about this for UCLA, they've been here before. They went wire to wire against Kentucky. The halftime score against Michigan was 50-50. The other teams just can't keep the pace over the full 40-minute game.
Dylan Brooks with the bucket. Is it a question of depth, Bill? Do teams need to have enough depth to hang with UCLA's firepower?
You have to be able to sustain offensive attack throughout the entire game. Because UCLA is going to get 90 points. Beautiful pass.
Cavell Bigby Williams drops it in.
Timeout, Steve Alford. He knows this crowd will drive this Duck. The Ducks are flying with wings of their own. This is the Oregon spirit on display.
Those are Oregon's all-time wins against the top 2 teams in the country, and all 5 have come at home and trying to get their first in this building in Matthew Knight Arena. 4 of those have come against UCLA.
Looks to me like UCLA has been a top team in years past. I was part of one of those games.
Do I dare bring up the 1974 game?
51 points. I am a disgrace. I'm a disgrace to humanity. I've never been more embarrassed or ashamed.
Lonzo Ball lost the ball. Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, beautiful.
It's the Oregon freshman.
I saw Peyton Pritchard this morning early out in front of the Wild Duck next door. He was getting loosened up to get wild tonight.
Bryce Alford silences the crowd.
And that is a tough thing to do here. Nobody's sitting down at all. 46 years ago when we started coming up here, this was always the wildest crowd. Oh, beautiful pass.
The lob to Chris Boucher.
Peyton Pritchard doing it all on both ends of the court.
Already 6 assists for Pritchard, and so much talk about Lonzo Ball, the great freshman for UCLA. He's been phenomenal so far this year, but so far tonight, Peyton Pritchard has dominated this game.
And that's what you love about basketball. This little tiny guy from West Lynn, Oregon, on the Willamette River, just downriver the Willamette from Oregon City, and the falls there.
He leads Oregon with 8 points and also those 6 assists. Leaf.
Wow.
Challenged by Boucher. Oregon ball.
And this is what happens when you don't get TJ Leaf involved in the game early. This crowd. I love the crowd. Shine the light. And the students aren't even in session.
A lot of them tried to get here for this one, knowing how big this game is as we open Pac-12 play tonight. As UCLA at 13-0 and Oregon has won 9 straight.
Dylan Brooks. Look at the focus. Look at the concentration. This is why this Oregon team, the most highly rated and touted team in Oregon history. Peyton Pritchard beautifully in the lane, drawing the defense. Boucher throwing it down with authority. Nothing even the great Lonzo Ball can do about it. Dylan Ennis, yes, all the Dylans on display. Give these guys a Nobel Prize. And Dennis Johnson, but please, Seth and Jay, you guys got to get out of that bubble back there and realize that it's all happening in the Conference of Champions. Not only do we have these two great teams going at it, but Arizona is playing very good basketball, and they're more than capable. So what's going to happen this year in the Conference of Champions is just going to be spectacular. And the winner of the conference is going to have such an easy geographic path to the Final Four, the first Final Four west of Texas since 1995, when UCLA won its last championship, its first championship and only championship in the last 41 years.
Largest lead for Oregon. Brooks with 10. The lead is 10. And don't forget the season that Andy Enfield and USC are having right now. They're unbeaten.
I'm Andy Enfield's biggest fan, and I hope USC continues to do great.
Isaac Hamilton throws it away.
Bruins are discombobulated.
Friday we keep on bowling on ESPN, starting with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl between Georgia and TCU at noon Eastern. 3:30, the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl, Nebraska number 21, Tennessee. In Nashville, both games also streaming live in the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
So Washington plays Alabama in the big game, right? In football?
In one of the big games. Dylan Brooks.
So Alabama. I spoke to the Oregon football team last spring, and all I talked about was beating Alabama.
And a foul underneath, going for the rebound as Ball missed a 3.
And the Ducks, after my talk, couldn't win a game all season long. And poor Mark Helfrich got fired because of my speech. I'm sorry, Mark.
They won a few games, Bill. They didn't go winless. Foul on Cavell Bigby-Williams of Oregon is first.
Talking Washington beat Alabama and uphold the integrity, credibility, and honor of the Conference of Champions, because we know that Seth and Jay in the studio are not going to uphold our conference.
There's Vern Harris, our official. They're going to check the monitor here to see if anything is warranted on this foul by Cavell Bigby-Williams, if it should be upgraded to a flagrant 1.
Have you had a chance to go see the Marcus Mariota Performance Center?
I have not seen it yet. I've heard a lot about it.
It's fantastic. We're going to do a whole Walton's World special the next time we come in here. And what they've done here is to create opportunities for young people to chase their dreams. And that's really what Oregon has always been about. The people that came here hundreds of years ago following Lewis and Clark, coming out the Oregon Trail, coming down the Columbia Gorge, looking at the big waterfalls, 77 waterfalls on the Oregon side alone of the Columbia Gorge. What's the play here?
So they're looking at Cavell Bigby-Williams to see if it deserves anything more than a common foul, which was called on the floor.
An ejection.
Flagrant 1 foul has been called. Is Michael Reed coming over to explain that to us?
Show that again.
So flagrant 1 means 2 free throws and the ball for UCLA.
Show that again. Okay, in the middle of your screen. Okay, now if somebody did that to your daughter Berkeley or to your son Jake, what would you say? You'd say
I would
throw
not
the
be
gun.
happy.
Right, okay. So that should be an ejection. Sir Bigby, one of the two English big giant 7-footers in the Conference of Champions. Kingsley from Berkeley, the other one.
Thomas Welsh shooting the flagrant 1 free throws. He has 9 points and still perfect on the season. And his first points since there were 17 minutes left in the first half, and he's 4 of 4 at the line tonight. And now UCLA gets the ball.
Plays like that never happened when Maurice Lucas was around. Maurice Lucas, the greatest trailblazer of them all.
Were people afraid of Maurice Lucas?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Oh, do we have stories?
Bryce Alford turns it into a 5-point possession for the Bruins.
The Bruins can score effortlessly. Dana Altman in practice today said his team has not played the efficient offense this season that he had hoped. But with all the injuries, Bruins second in the nation in scoring. Lonzo Ball, excuse me. He's the first Lonzo that I know, so I've got to. I think we'll be saying his name more than just tonight. Dylan Brooks has assumed the responsibility of getting this done.
Off the screen for Welsh. The pick and pop for the UCLA big man, and Welsh now with 12.
Dana Altman has seen enough. What do we talk about all day?
7 straight for UCLA. And the Bruins, who trailed it by 12, it's now a 5-point game with 2 minutes left in the half. And Thomas Welsh, Bill, who missed the last 4 games because of a knee issue, coming back and having an impact for UCLA.
But it looks as if so many times that the Bruins are up against it, when they were down early against Kentucky, when they were struggling against Western Michigan, and Larry Farmer's return to Pauley Pavilion. But Thomas Welsh climbing that rock, climbing that mountain. This is the guys who go out to Smith Rock in Central Oregon now, outside of Redmond. And so here's this guy who has a younger brother who plays at Harvard. We were with him in China earlier this year in the Pac-12 China initiative. And just a fantastic player. He's one of the vocal leaders. Lonzo Ball is a quiet guy. He's not going to say much. TJ is just a freshman. The vocal guys on this squad, this UCLA squad, are Bryce Alford, Thomas Welsh, and Isaac Hamilton.
For the highest ranked team to ever play at Matthew Knight Arena. This building's only been around since 2011. And UCLA unbeaten, down 5 here late in the first half to number 21 Oregon.
Great defense by the Bruins. TJ Leaf locking down Brooks.
Here's Ennis.
Nice.
And a foul is called, and Dylan Ennis will go to the line.
Saw the seam, lowered his shoulder, just got right in there, initiated the contact, earned a trip to the free throw line.
First on Thomas Welsh.
Big shot blockers. TJ Leaf has got to reach higher than mine, standing reach. I can no longer jump, I can no longer get on my toes. Thomas Welsh has got 3 inches on me. And when you got the size and length over the guard coming down the lane, never foul over the top, please. See, just, why would you even touch him? He's got to bring the ball to you. You got 2 basic 7-footers out there. You're gonna roof him. But this guy can play. Man.
Jordan Bell, the tip in off the miss. His first points, and that's the most points allowed in the first half this season by UCLA. The previous high was 50 by Michigan.
Michigan played great in that first half, but they could not sustain. UCLA just keeps going.
Leaf in the lane.
Beautiful. What footwork, what balance, what a theory, what a concept of how to play. But give the Ducks all the credit, because they have not let TJ Leaf have impact on this game. He's got a couple of nice plays, but he's not been on the boards. He's not been passing from the high post. Offensive foul on the screen.
Illegal screen on Jordan Bell of the Ducks, his second foul.
So we'll let Seth Greenberg in the studio talk all he wants about his ball screen. That's why you don't set ball screens. Move away from the ball. If a guy 30 feet from the hoop needs a screen.
You don't like the pick and roll, Bill?
I like pick and roll. I don't like.
Well, that's a screen on the ball.
Okay, but that's a different deal than one guy dribbling 30 feet and needing a screen to get open, please. How about passing the ball?
UCLA shooting 58% from the field. Oregon 56%.
Beautiful.
The lob, TJ Leaf, and a foul on Chris Boucher.
I love passing. I love the Golden State Warriors. I love the way that UCLA plays these days.
UCLA leads the country assisted over 23.5 per game. It's far and away the leader. 3 more than anybody else in college basketball is Leaf. 1 more coming.
So TJ grew up in East San Diego, out in El Cajon. But everybody who grows up in San Diego, he got there when he was 2.5. Came from Israel where he was born. Everybody in San Diego goes to the beach. His favorite beach is La Jolla Shores. You ever been to La Jolla Shores?
I've not been to La Jolla Shores.
And the La Jolla Beach and Tennis Club?
I have not been there.
And the La Jolla Cove.
I need to hang with you more often, I guess.
Black's Beach, the first clothing optional beach in the entire country.
I'll take your word for it.
Please do.
2-second differential. What a fun first half we have had.
We're just getting started here. This is the way every game in the Conference of Champions will be this year.
Dillon Brooks had a good look. Loose ball on the court. Aaron Holiday doesn't get a shot off, but at halftime, Oregon leading by as many as 12 in the first half, and a 5-point lead on UCLA, and the 3-point shooting fueling the Ducks.
Oregon plays perfect, yet barely has a lead holding on. UCLA is not going anywhere. They're going to go in there, and Alford's going to say, hey guys, just keep playing our game, keep running, keep moving, and keep shooting. It'll come our way. Can Oregon sustain? Throw it down, Chris Boucher. Yeah, what a game.
Land Rover halftime report is next. For the start of the second half in Eugene. Our Pac-12 opener tonight, and unbeaten UCLA trailing number 21 Oregon 52-47 at the half. Along with the Hall of Famer Bill Walton, Roxy Bernstein with you. Tremendous first half here in Eugene and Matt Court. And Lonzo Ball getting a lot of the hype, deservedly so, coming in. But the story, Bill, has really been the guard play of Oregon when you look at Peyton Pritchard and Casey Benson.
Roxy, the way this season has played out, when it started, all the hype was on Oregon. But then people saw Lonzo Ball and TJ Leaf for the first time, and now it's shifted to UCLA. But the offense tonight for Oregon, this is what the dream has been about for Dana Ullman. It has been Peyton Pritchard getting started early. Then Casey Benson comes off the bench. Pritchard took Benson's spot in the starting lineup. No complaining, no whining. This is a true team. Dorsey in transition. This was beautiful basketball. And then Dillon Brooks, who gets them going, who when things are up against it, Dillon Brooks is the guy who can come and deliver the great shooting here for Oregon. UCLA is the best shooting team in all of college basketball right now, but tonight it has been Dillon Brooks. The challenge for UCLA is to get this game going, get it wide open. Oregon has come and said, look, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. I'm going to be in your way every night. Lonzo Ball's got to get running. TJ Leaf has got to get fluid in his handling of the ball at the high post. The Bruins got to get wide open shot attempts.
Alford open, nails a 3 as Dillon Ennis tripped, and that lets Bryce Alford wide open.
UCLA, second highest scoring team in all of college basketball. They're better in the second half than they are in the first.
Can Oregon keep this up?
How do I know? I'm just sitting here watching. I wish I could play in a game like this. I had my chance, and I blew it.
1974, you're talking about the last weekend?
What a loser. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment.
Second foul on TJ Leaf.
The stain and stigma on my soul. The lost weekend. Old Bob over there at the Wild Duck is still gloating. Happy as can be, high as can be. Oh my gosh.
Ennis missing a 3, and the rebound, Isaac Hamilton for the Bruins.
So this is one of the real big changes in basketball. How the crowd doesn't get back in time to start this game. Bruins, they're going to be ready. Coach Alford had them in the locker room a couple extra minutes. We'll have to see how that plays out.
Thomas Welsh missing his first miss.
Sometimes you can over-talk it and overthink it.
Dylan Brooks, too strong on the three.
You got to teach and you got to play and you got to rebound, and that's what Thomas Welsh is doing.
5 rebounds for Welsh to lead the Bruins. TJ Leaf knocks down a three, and UCLA has the lead.
You seem surprised. Please.
Not surprised.
TJ, Ty Jacob, El Cajon. You ever been to El Cajon?
I have been to El Cajon.
Beautiful.
Tyler Dorsey blocked by Thomas Welsh.
Send it back, Thomas Welsh.
Offered a deep three. And Dylan Brooks a physical rebound. Here he comes leading the break.
Beautiful crossover.
Dylan Brooks to the basket. 14 for Brooks to lead Oregon as the Ducks seesaw in front.
Dylan Brooks out working with the Canadian connection for this Oregon Ducks franchise here. Mike Meninga, one of the assistant coaches. They're double teaming Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball missing a three, and Dylan Ennis the rebound for Oregon.
Ball is a much better shooter than we've seen tonight.
Jordan Bell drives to the basket.
Steve Alford does not panic. Steve Alford is not a yeller or a screamer. The other team makes a good play, said, okay, come on, let's get it right back. He's not trying to bail out the guys by yelling at the refs or trying to embarrass them by screaming at them.
The runner by Isaac Hamilton short, but Thomas Welsh the offensive rebound for the Bruins.
Did it work for you when people would scream at you? Thomas Welsh.
John Wooden screamed at you a few times. Did that work?
Deservedly so.
1 point lead for Oregon.
You know, we've talked a lot about the life lessons in Shoe Dog.
Dylan Brooks.
Oh my gosh.
Loose ball run down by Bell.
The Bruins seem surprised at the fighting spirit that the Ducks are putting up tonight. Like to see Dorsey and Jordan Bell for Oregon get a little bit more assertive on the offensive end. Give it back to Dylan Brooks. Thomas Welsh cannot guard him 30 feet from the basket.
Here's Dorsey. Jordan Bell for three. Got it! Just his third three-pointer of the season.
Just like you drew it up. A genius play call.
8 threes for the Ducks. Lonzo Ball missing.
This is not Lonzo's night. And
Tyler Dorsey to the basket. And a foul on Ball. His first.
The confusion reigning supreme here, and that is not Jordan Bell's game, but sometimes you have to shoot.
He'll take it.
The shot clock. But Lonzo Ball and Tyler Dorsey, they've got a long history here. Lonzo Ball from the Chino Hills area where Larry Holyfield makes his home, UCLA family. With Tyler Dorsey coming from the Pasadena area, these guys, they made high school ball, AAU ball, and Dorsey.
And he missed both.
God. Please. I mean, points are at a premium here in this game. And you know, a good player like that missing 2 free throws, inexcusable.
Oregon led by as many as 12 in the first half as Jordan Bell intercepts the lob for Lonzo Ball.
Jordan Bell starting to make his presence felt. I mean, he's got those sharp elbows like Mount Fieldson. Sharpest of all the volcanoes in the Cascade Range.
And there's Bell hustling to keep it alive. Oregon a school record 33 straight home wins on the line against unbeaten number 2 UCLA.
Who's got the all-time record? Kentucky.
All-time home wins.
Kentucky 129.
Peyton Pritchard. There's Jordan Bell again.
Great defense, TJ Leaf.
Dorsey backs it out. The longest active streak is Kansas.
At what?
46.
What's the difference between 129 and 46 besides a lot?
And
Tyler Dorsey, take it to the rim and get to the line. We're going to have to take a breath here and regroup. What a game. The crowd is back. The game is on fire. Bryce Alford opening possession of the first half. He's one of the vocal leaders. Leaf comes right back. The Bruins Still hanging close, but Dylan has just been too good. Nobel Prizes galore for anybody named Dylan. Mount Thielsen, the sharpest of all the Cascade volcanoes.
Flashback, Bill, why don't we?
I love flashbacks.
Well, you might not like this one. That's Mac Court, MacArthur
I know
Court.
what Mac Court is, yeah. We played
Not
that.
too far from here.
Oh, man.
Well,
it was wild. I'm smiling this day, but there was other days that we
February of 1974 was not kind to you.
Yikes. Lost in Space on the Lost Weekend. Gerald Willett, Ronnie Lee, Greg Ballard, and...
I think she was there.
No, man. That's Neil Everett's daughter.
Tyler Dorsey at the line.
She wasn't born.
One more coming.
That was 42 years ago.
And that's
going on 43 years ago.
One of Oregon's 5 wins against teams ranked in the top 2, and they're trying for their 6th in school history.
Well, we loved playing here because the crowd is just so over the top. I mean, all the things that would go down. The only crowd in college that came close to the Oregon Ducks was the Notre Dame crowd. And a lot of that was because they didn't allow women to go to school there for all those years.
There's a foul against Oregon, and it's on Tyler Dorsey, his 2nd.
But I'm proud to be a part of the Conference of Champions, which gives equality, freedom, dignity, respect.
TJ Leaf on the block.
Beautiful.
So tough to stop down there.
Just think now in the few years we've been doing this, what Larry Scott has been able to do with all the new money coming in from the sponsorships and the media rights deals, and how all these programs are just going, and the facilities and the players and the programs, and the UCLA building the new Mo Austin basketball
Dylan
center.
Brooks steps in for the deep 2. He has a game high 16.
Are you old enough to remember the beginning of this game when we talked about Dylan Brooks having to have a big game?
Yes, Bill, I remember you pointing that out.
I'm just wondering if you were awake or if you were having lunch or something.
There's a foul against Peyton Pritchard of Oregon, his 2nd. And Dylan Brooks, who missed the first 3 games of the year and really was out, Bill, for about 5 months because of that foot injury, and it was a gradual process to ease him back in.
It was a stress fracture. You have to do that. I mean, stress fractures are totally different than impact fractures. Holiday. Thomas
Wells tips it out.
Thomas Wells has been the Bruins' best player by far.
Sent back by Jordan Bell.
The Oregon Ducks, the #1 shot blocking team in the entire country. This crowd. In the old days at Mac Court, this is Mac Court. In the old days, the scoreboard would bounce.
Everything would shake inside Mac.
They would yell louder and louder until the scoreboard used to bounce. And then when they got it to bounce, when they got it in rhythm, then they knew they had it going. The Kamikaze Kids, we thought they were nuts.
TJ Leaf off on the 3. And Dylan Ennis lets it trickle out of bounds, Oregon ball.
And then we lost to them. Oh my gosh.
UCLA, one of 6 remaining unbeatens in the country. They're 13-0. And taking on an Oregon team that got off to a 2-2 start, but the Ducks have rolled off 9 straight wins.
2 losses this year. Baylor, which is a very good team. And then Georgetown over in Maui. Georgetown played a perfect first half and able to hang on and win. Jordan Bell.
And a foul will put Bell on the line. TJ Leaf, his 3rd.
Jordan Bell doing it all. Hits a 3-pointer. Then he blocks a shot. Now he comes back, earns a trip to the line. And EK needs more experience. EK needs more playing time. He has to get that sense that there's nobody out there that can play with him.
Jordan Bell is 74% foul shooter, the junior from Long Beach.
So, have you ever heard of Akeem Olajuwon?
Akeem the Dream.
Right. Well,
I think I've heard of him.
He was a dream, and he was everybody else's nightmare. Because this guy, he came to play. Akeem did, and he came to work. And if any one of these young players would ever study video of just the concentration, the focus, the discipline, commitment of Hakeem Olajuwon, they would understand what the standard is. This crowd, my goodness, they never sit down.
Lots to cheer about with Oregon up 9, a 13-4 run since UCLA took a 1-point lead.
Lonzo Ball has not been able to break through or have any sort of impact on this game. What a pass.
The follow by Ike Adibogu for UCLA. He's tied a career high already with 9.
Ike's got 9?
He's got 9 points.
Offensive
and an
foul.
Offensive foul. Dylan Brooks called for the hook. His second.
So Ike's got 9 and Welsh is the team's leading scorer?
He's got 14.
Right, okay, so Altman has said, we're going to deny everybody else. We'll see if these big guys can sustain and carry the load. TJ goes out.
Easy call there for Steve Olson on the baseline.
You know, one of the coolest things about playing in games like this is that you can't hear anything. Everything is visual, and I love visuals.
Sitting next to you, that could be a good thing.
But the eye-to-eye contact with your teammates, with the ref, with the coach, it's what you live for. Great defense, Dylan Ennis.
And a foul going for the rebound. It's on the Ducks. And it's a hold on Tyler Dorsey. Thursday, we have a bowl triple header for you on ESPN, starting with South Florida and South Carolina in the Birmingham Bowl. At 2 Eastern, then Arkansas battles number 22, Tech. In the Belk Bowl at 5:30, the last game, number 12, Oklahoma State. Number 10, Colorado. The Valero Alamo Bowl at 9. All 3 games available on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
How many bowls are there?
40.
40. How many of them are on ESPN?
Just about 40.
All of them.
Almost.
It should be.
Almost all of them.
The way it should be. We got Phil Knight here, the most important man in the history of all sports. We got ESPN.
We've got Bill Walton
the most successful, most influential, the most important media company ever.
And thanks again to Phil Knight, who joined us in the first half here at the table.
Shoe dog. How about the last line of the book? Thank you, Penny, his wife, from forever. I couldn't have done it without you.
Tyler Dorsey rims out a 3. Bodies go crashing for the rebound, and a foul in Oregon. Dylan Brooks called for his 3rd.
Oregon fans just irate. Long jumper. Wait a second. They called a foul on Dylan Brooks on that?
They did.
Well. So the refs made a mistake. Just ignore it. Let it go. How many fouls on Dylan Brooks?
That's his 3rd foul. 5 on Oregon. And 4 on UCLA. Bryce Alford.
If you're the Ducks, keep your composure. And Dorsey's got to come alive. He was brilliant in the first half, at times. Been a non-factor since. The Bruin defense is locked down.
Shot clock at 10.
Celtic weave.
And a foul against UCLA.
It's so loud in here, you can't hear the whistles.
And a bump on Aaron Holiday is second. A tight one.
I need to take a break, take a breath, and regroup.
Oregon up 4, and Dylan Brooks, a big reason why.
You win games, Roxy, when your best player outplays the other team's best player, and that has been Dylan Brooks tonight from the outset. Dylan Brooks, the game's leading scorer. He does have 3 fouls, and the last one was just atrocious, a nightmare. But Dylan Brooks has responded every single time. Change of pace, change of direction, shake and bake, go right to the hoop. Knock down jumpers in the defender's face. TJ Leaf, long arms and all. 16 points on tremendous field goal shooting for a perimeter player. Lonzo Ball, on the other hand, it has not been his night. First Pac-12 Conference Champions game of his career. Just 3 points. But one of the things that makes the Oregon story so remarkable is that California has 10 times as many people in it as the state of Oregon. You know, this little town in Eugene, 150,000, I'm not even sure it would even make the map in California.
Tyler Dorsey to the corner. And the rebound, Ike Anigbogu for the Bruins.
Oregon, the 9th largest state by size.
And a steal for Casey Benson. And a foul in the open floor, the second on Lonzo Ball.
Casey Benson, the Oregon spirit. It's all right there.
6th team foul against the Bruins. The next one will put Oregon into the bonus for the rest of the night.
Casey, who plays basketball, shoots basketball, and plays pool left-handed. Everything else he does right-handed. Idolized Steve Nash growing up. Now it's Steph Curry. Two pretty good heroes and role models. Beautiful pass. Ike, send it back.
And the Bruins come away with it. Here comes Ball. A pull-up three. Lonzo Ball.
Poise, confidence, and the discipline to know that even when it's not your night, just keep playing.
7 straight for the Bruins, and it's a 1-point game.
Every time it seems as if the Bruins are out of it, Oregon goes cold and the Bruins light up. Momentum and rhythm. Look at this defense now. Ike.
Chris Boucher in and out on the three, and the rebound, Isaac Hamilton for UCLA.
Coming back from injury, Boucher not had the impact in the second half. Maybe he stiffened up.
Aaron Holiday.
Look at Ike everywhere.
And a foul on Casey Benson.
Lonzo Ball, who has struggled mightily tonight to control the game, which he usually just owns, pulls up, three-pointer, giving him 6 on the night.
16 fouls aside now. As Dylan Brooks comes back in for Oregon with his 3 fouls.
Ike's favorite player today in the game, Joel Embiid. You ever seen him play?
I have seen him play as Lonzo Ball from way out there, and he gives UCLA the lead.
The crowd stunned, staggered, reeling.
Back-to-back threes from Ball, and it's 10 straight for the Bruins.
Of all the things that Lonzo Ball does, his shooting, easy play to call, right on the wrist.
And now the 3rd foul on Lonzo Ball.
But Lonzo Ball's shooting is the most impressive to me.
Dylan Brooks will head to the foul line for Oregon. And he's a good 5 feet behind the line, Bill, on that 3.
The big threes that he's made all season long. Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio State. And another thing that Larry Scott has done to change this Conference of Champions is his insistence that these athletic directors schedule real opponents and no more of the sisters of the poor.
Wave off the attempt. Jordan Bell, a lane violation.
Unacceptable.
So no free throw attempt there for Brooks. UCLA with the ball and a 2-point lead.
You cannot make mental mistakes like that. That is just careless and selfish. Traveling violation, Aaron Holiday, who can't believe it. And Coach Alford's over there saying, Aaron, shoot the ball, you're wide open, please.
11th UCLA turnover.
The youngest of 4 children, Aaron Holiday. Sister who was a ball player at UCLA before she got hurt.
Brother Drew.
She's back now working in education at the high school they all went to, Campbell Hall.
And then his brother Justin, who played in Washington, now in the NBA.
With the Knicks.
Championship with the Warriors.
With the Knicks. Only 2 Ducks in the NBA right now. Aaron Brooks and Jordan
Bell missing. And the rebound, Gigi Goleman.
Joe Smith, that was his name, the former player of the year, right?
Former player of the year.
In the conference. That's Alonzo Ball.
Ball hits a 3 as he got knocked down.
Everything has changed. Oregon can't score. Dana Altman desperately needs a timeout. Lonzo Ball, after maybe having his worst performance in the first half, is now coming out and just taking over this game.
Biggest lead for UCLA. It was Joseph Young who you're thinking.
Joseph Young, yeah, sorry. And that's why all the NBA scouts are here tonight. Oh my gosh, what a comet streaking across our universe. Stars delivering, champions, Lonzo Ball, the number of ways he can beat you. His ability to pull up and hit threes in transition when he's not having his normal great control of the game. First half, second half, completely different. It's like when you're standing at the bottom of Smith Rock and you're looking up at that fantastically difficult east wall on the monkey face that was first climbed in 1992. And the French climber that did it by himself, when he got to the top and they asked him about it, he just said, just do it. And that is what Lonzo Ball has done here tonight in the second half.
And the Ducks have not scored a field goal in 5.5 minutes. Dylan Brooks, foul, will go to the line. As UCLA has scored 13 straight points. It was Oregon by 8, and it's now a 5-point UCLA lead as Ike Anigbogu called for his second.
Right now, the Ducks are searching for leadership on the court. Did you ever read Stephen Ambrose's Undaunted Courage?
I have not read that one yet. Are you expecting a book report the next time I see you?
Please.
Okay.
I've got to read the first one. You can't show it to me during the game on the monitor. So anyway, these guys, Lewis and Clark, they had no idea what they were getting into. Page 2 of Shoe Dog, the plan changes every day. You got careless errors. Jordan Bell stepping across the free throw line unnecessarily. Tyler Dorsey missed 2 free throws in this game, right?
Dylan Brooks has missed his last 2. As Thomas Welsh back in for UCLA.
And UCLA just keeps playing, keeps shooting.
Now he's missed 3 straight. That's 5 missed free throws for Oregon in the second half. When they're shooting just 4 of 15 from the floor and 1 of 9 from 3 here in the second half.
Leadership. Lead the relentless offensive attack and hit first.
And a steal by Dylan Brooks. Took it right away.
Whoa, Gigi
Goleman to the basket. 15 in a row for UCLA.
Who would have ever thought when we first saw Gigi Goleman show up on campus in Westwood that he would go coast to coast by being up in the passing lane and finish in the game of our lives. The
Tyler Dorsey is fouled. And we'll go to the line and we'll try to end the drought for Oregon as the Bruins have run off 15 in a row. And they have a 7-point lead at Oregon, where the Ducks have a 33-game home court winning streak.
Gigi doing the Hungarian waltz all the way.
The games we've been waiting for, they're coming on New Year's Eve. The college football playoff semifinals on ESPN. First, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at 3 Eastern, Washington against Alabama. And at 7, Ohio State Clemson, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Both games are streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN.
Conference of Champions. All we want is that chance. Read boys in the boat and go get the job done. Here we go, Huskies.
Lonzo Ball,
though.
Here, I got a note for you, Bill.
Yeah, okay.
He scored or assisted on 12 points already here in the second half. Created just 11 points the entire first half.
You seem surprised.
I'm just saying
this is the first time you've seen him play in person.
In person, yes.
Okay, so this is the best game you've ever seen him play.
It is. That would be a true statement.
Okay, so he's 5th in the team in scoring. He's like Steve Nash and Magic and Bill Russell. He has no concern at all about his numbers. He cares about the team winning the game. But Steve Alford, all morning in practice, referring to the trip to Australia and how that made him tough. The big victory at Kentucky against that raucous crowd, similar to what we have here tonight. Steve Alford said, guys, have fun tonight. Be ready for a fight. It's going to be a very physical game. Share the ball and we'll be fine.
Tipped out by Dylan Ennis. 6 to shoot for UCLA as Tyler Dorsey ended a 5.5-minute drought for Oregon as UCLA had been on a 15-zip run.
UCLA never stopped scoring, and that's what happens to all their opponents.
Holiday Challenge inside. Here come the Ducks. Dylan Ennis left it short. Thomas Welsh the rebound.
Welsh looking a little stiff. Hope that knee is okay. Sitting over there a long time. Hasn't played in 4 games. What's that, a couple weeks in college basketball? That's 5 days at the professional level.
14 points, 9 rebounds for Welsh tonight in his return. Bryce Alford from the corner. 3.
Great ball movement. TJ Leaf, the swing man. Always so critical. His dad taught him to play the high post.
Largest lead for the Bruins.
Wow.
Loose ball. Holiday comes away with it for UCLA.
The Ducks are discombobulated.
They're just 4 of 17 from the field in the second half as Aaron Holiday off on a 3. And a foul. It's on Welsh going for the rebound, his second.
Bryce Alford now a shooter instead of a guy who has the ball in his hands all the time.
Chris Boucher heading to the line.
In our meeting with Steve Alford this morning, the question posed to the coach was, okay, when it gets really physical, who's going to respond? And he stood up just proud, confident as can be. And he said, we've got Lonzo Ball. And nobody else does.
It's nice when you have an option like that.
Yes.
Here's Boucher the miss, but he tracks it down. Dylan Brooks attacks. First bucket for Oregon in nearly 8 minutes.
The crowd is doing everything they can. Coach Alford over there trying to call plays. That's not the strength of this team.
Bryce Alford silences the crowd.
Push him back.
20 for Alford, 11 since halftime.
Make him sit down.
And Alford the rebound.
Dana Altman prophetic in his morning comments that he's not confident that the team has the ability to sustain offensive firepower for 40 minutes.
And Oregon now 1 of 10 from 3 in the second half.
Thomas Welsh. Oh.
And Jordan Bell the rebound after Oregon at 7 of 14 from 3 in the first half. Brooks too strong, and Welsh rebound number 10.
Everything for Oregon is one-on-one. Everything is off the dribble. There's no flow whatsoever, and you can just see the Bruins' confidence swelling and growing as the ball is taken over here, and Bryce Alford is moving brilliantly without the ball.
Alford missing that 3, and the rebound Brooks for Oregon.
And Welsh is making a valiant effort on every...
Jordan Bell gets the crowd back up.
Timeout, UCLA. Coach Alford is over there yelling and screaming and nobody can hear a thing. The way we love it. Our series of dreams, the umbrellas are folded.
In the first half, the story was Oregon's three-point shooting, but in the second half, Bill, it's UCLA.
Have you been here the whole game?
I have been sitting right next to you the whole game, in fact.
Hey, well, I've been telling you that UCLA never stops. UCLA is going to get to 95 or 100 in every game. When they play terrible, they score 86, but this over-the-top play, this is what the Ducks need more of. Their set offense has been ineffective in the second half because the guys who need to deliver in the sets, Dylan Brooks, Tyler Dorsey, and Dylan Ennis, they're not getting it done going one-on-one, and the ball movement, which freed up guys like Peyton Pritchard early on in this game, that's disappeared. And UCLA has been the team that's been able to stay within their identity, their culture.
Has UCLA's defense been better in the second half?
I'm not sure what kind of defense UCLA plays. I'm not sure that it matters because their offense is so good.
But look at the three-point shooting in the two halves for Oregon. And the Ducks shooting just 29% from the field in the second half.
It's too early for me to say if UCLA's defense is any good. Now, they're undefeated, so it's clearly very good. Because you don't go undefeated when you play at Kentucky, when you play Ohio State, when you play Michigan, you play Western Michigan, which gave them a real battle. But who's going to be the guy for UCLA who becomes that lockdown defender when somebody else gets hot? Right now, the problem for Oregon is that nobody's hot. Nobody's really playing any kind of basketball to speak of.
Oregon led by as many as 12 in the first half.
And this is the great unequalizer right here, Lonzo Ball.
Long three. Chris Boucher takes the rebound for the Ducks.
Yeah. Acting like one of those 5 potentially active over the top. Boucher unable to get it down.
Broken up by TJ Leaf.
You got an advantage here. Boucher's out of the play. Nice.
The lob to Thomas Welsh.
Aaron Holiday, what a player. He needs more time.
Welsh has tied a season high and has his 6th double-double.
He can't be bigger than 5'10". And here's out in a game of giants.
Alan Bryce Alford of UCLA, his 2nd, and Peyton Pritchard to the line. UCLA by 8, 3:40 to go in Eugene, and Oregon's 33-game home court winning streak on the line.
Every time Oregon makes a spectacular play and fires up this volcano here in Matt Knight Arena, UCLA comes right back. The threes are falling for Bryce. Lonzo Ball, they're taking over. Falls on the Columbia River Scenic Highway, the first scenic highway in the entire United States of America. The king of roads. And the beauty, the symmetry, the grace, the happiness, the joy, that's been UCLA's three-point shooting here tonight. Some of it in the first half, some of it in the second half. And when Lonzo Ball took over and said, hey, look, this is not happening. I'm just going to back up and start letting it fly myself because I can't get to the hoop. Bryce Alford quieting the crowd in this stunning turn of events here. Bruins going to get to 90 points.
That more for Peyton Pritchard.
Bruins will get to 90. That means Oregon's got to get, what? How many is that? 17 more points to even give them a chance in the last 3 minutes, 40 seconds.
11 threes tonight for UCLA as Pritchard pulls the Ducks within 6.
Bruins would not be in the position they are right now without Thomas Welsh. We've given all the credit to the little pretty boys shooting them from the perimeter. Lonzo Ball, a quick timeout.
What are guards good for again?
Inbounding the ball, feeding the post, and playing a little token defense on the perimeter.
What about hitting three-pointers? Because they're hitting a lot tonight.
We'll take that too. Win the game, please.
The 80 points that UCLA has scored, the most allowed by Oregon this season, and the Bruins one of 6 remaining unbeaten in college basketball. USC getting ready to tip off up the road at Oregon State, plus Gonzaga, so 3 West Coast teams among the 6 remaining unbeaten in college basketball, and Baylor, a team that knocked off Oregon back in the tip-off marathon.
You old enough to remember last year's championship game?
I do remember that great game between Villanova and North Carolina.
One of the great games ever. I was there, in a seat very much like I have right now, and it was spectacular. And all these remarkable athletes, all the winners of the genetic lottery, and it was little Archie from Villanova. The most unlikely of stories. Beautiful pass.
Thomas Welsh, baseline jumper, a season-high 18.
At some point, the teams will realize that he's going to make that shot every single time.
Chris Boucher, a 3. Just the second 3 for Oregon in the second half.
And if you're Aaron Holiday, don't slow this down. Just keep attacking. Play your game.
Loose ball.
Thomas Welsh. Every
arrow points to Oregon,
including on the floor. Where would the Bruins be without Thomas Welsh? Playing with a bad leg. Limping noticeably here. They're taking him out and bringing in a guy who's got no limp to his game, Ike. Oh my gosh. It's like he lives his life on a trampoline.
Johnny Bogu replaces Welsh, who missed the last 4 games with that right knee injury, which he suffered in practice back on December 7th.
Pearl Harbor Day, Larry Bird's birthday.
I just drove past Pearl Harbor yesterday, Bill.
Yesterday.
Rattle out, but the follow by Dillon Brooks. 3-point game. Offensive foul on Ike Anigbogu. His third.
That's a terrible call. 2 big 7-footers standing there. They're battling for position.
Steve Alford agrees with you.
Please, please. At the professional level, that's called a flop, and they take money out of his pocket on the spot. Jordan Bell, a man among boys out there. Oregon keeps running this weave. It's been ineffective.
Stays with Oregon, 14 on the timer. Tonight, after the Advocare V100 Texas Bowl on ESPN, it's Sports Center at night with Neil Everett. All the highlights for the bowl games: college basketball, NBA, NHL, and NFL news. Sports Center night after Texas A&M and Kansas State, also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Really? I never would have thought that Sports Center would be coming up on ESPN. And Neil Everett, who went to school here after growing up in Spokane.
He's glued to this game. Foul in Oregon.
His daughter's here.
4th on Dillon Brooks. 17th foul against the Ducks, and TJ Leaf, who's 1 of 2 at the line tonight and just a 59% foul shooter on the year, will shoot a 1-and-1.
Beautiful. TJ Leaf, whose favorite player is LeBron. Always been LeBron. And what a great role model for the young players to come up.
That's the first free throw for UCLA in the second half.
So who were your heroes growing up?
I was a big Kevin Johnson guy.
Really?
Love Kevin Johnson.
I had Bill Russell and Muhammad Ali. And I'm sticking with those guys.
That's a pretty good duo.
Here we go.
We got a good
2
one
minutes.
here.
The Ducks don't get anything out of that weave. The change of pace, change of direction is not there. Send it back.
Lonzo Ball.
Coach Alford today is emphasizing how many ways Lonzo Ball contributes to the team. None more so tonight than in leadership, poise, confidence, competitive greatness. Up against it, the bottom of Smith Rock, the bottom of Crater Lake, found a way.
Peyton Pritchard to the basket, weaves his way through the defense. Timeout Oregon.
Peyton Pritchard, who was so good early on, got a lot of Jimmer Fredette in his game. Dantley Walker as well.
12 points, 8 assists tonight for the freshman from Westland, Oregon. And the undefeated Bruins, 2-point lead with 1:26 to go.
They come out of that weave and then just kind of go one-on-one after they just cross it up in the out behind the 3-point line. And Thomas Welsh without the mobility right now.
And that's one thing, Bill, that Oregon teams have been really good at under Dana Altman is running their offense and getting good looks out of Dana Altman's sets.
Dana Altman's an offensive coach. And that's why Pat Kilkenny went and got it. That's why Pat Kilkenny went and got Coach Kelly for the football program. That's why Helfrich was supposed to be here, to get the offense going. Offense wins championships.
7-1 run for Oregon to close within 2. 1:26 to go, and the last time an unbeaten UCLA team came to Eugene, January of 2007. The winning shot by Aaron Brooks that gave Oregon the lead there, and they would come up with one defensive stand to hang on and get the win and knock off a 14-0 UCLA team. 68-66, Oregon with the win. That was the last time an unbeaten UCLA team came to Eugene.
Give a lot of credit to the strength and conditioning coaches for both schools. Wes Long and Jordan Jackson, UCLA, Adam Linens and Alan Morrill for Eugene. Players look like they're running out of gas with it. They're going to have to stop at the new Whole Foods on the way.
Where will UCLA look to go?
Nice.
Thomas Welsh, got it!
Lonzo Ball, spread the floor, let him get to the hoop. The defense will rotate. Spot up shooter by a guy who never misses.
Dylan Ennis will go to the line for the Ducks and shoot two.
Even when Thomas Welsh is out of his range, even 6 inches, he's still able to make that adjustment. And the defense right there, you're just in a veritable quandary defensively. Because Lonzo Ball, he can make that split-second decision whether to shoot it or pass it. And the Bruins have so many shooters. Leaf will make that. Alford will make that. Holiday. And certainly Thomas Welsh will make every single one of them. So what do you do?
Fourth foul on TJ Leaf.
What you really have to do is get somebody who can deny Lonzo Ball where he wants to get on the floor. And that is seemingly impossible.
Two-point game.
How many missed free throws for Oregon in the second half?
6. They're 11 of 17 in the second half.
You have to attack. What's the count?
Here's Ball. Lonzo Ball.
Wow. We saw it all, including great defense. Pritchard.
Bryce Alford out of bounds. It stays with Oregon. 17.6 remaining.
Under the watchful eyes of the men who have built this state. Who can deliver? One jumper.
Peyton Pritchard, a long three. It's a one-point game. The freshman Pritchard steps up huge for Oregon.
Inbound pass goes to Dylan Brooks, who's been shut down the stretch by Ball. Pritchard lets it fly from seemingly out of bounds. Great defense, Lonzo Ball.
Peyton Pritchard, who scored 7 points in the last 3.5 minutes to pull Oregon within 1. The Ducks are out of timeouts. UCLA still has 1. Oregon is in the double bonus, but the Ducks foul. It's a 1-and-1 for UCLA.
UCLA is a great free throw shooting team. Key for them is inbounding the ball and get it in quick and get moving up the court. The double team comes if you're UCLA, pass the ball ahead. We got Lonzo Ball pressured by Jordan Bell, former lineman in football, Long Beach Poly High School. Get up there and smother that inbound pass, running the baseline.
And a tie-up, UCLA ball.
Bryce Alford never passes the ball in that situation. He's just intent on going to the free throw line. And I don't get it. If you move the ball, the clock doesn't stop.
He is an 87% foul shooter.
Yeah, so what about the ones he does miss? That's 13%.
Leads the guy you want to foul. But they foul Alford with 8.9 to go. He's shooting a 1-and-1. And it's the third on Peyton Pritchard.
This is what happens when you think you're going to go to the line. You're just trying to get to the line. Beautiful execution. They're right on him there. In basketball, did you ever play basketball, Rusty?
I did.
Okay. I saw you playing here.
So obviously we're not impressed.
When there's two guys on you, that means somebody on your team is open.
Peyton Pritchard appears to have a cut, and that's what he's getting looked at by Oregon trainer Clay Jamison. And
Clay in his 19th year.
got hit in the nose, it appears. Bryce Alford's first trip to the line tonight. He is 87% on the season, and he leads UCLA along with Welsh, 20 points. So first free throw attempt of the night for Alford.
Yeah, but he's had a ton of jumpers. How many shots has he taken?
Taken 11. He missed. Here comes Pritchard. Brooks. Desperation. Got it! Game's not over. The game is not over. They're storming the floor. The officials are trying to clear the floor.
This is unacceptable and not safe.
The officials are at the monitor, and Dana Altman trying to get the crowd off the floor here in Eugene.
The Pac-12 Conference of Champions cannot let this happen, and they've instituted new rules and procedures to prevent this. Dylan Brooks, who won the big game in Maui, has the ball all by himself. This ball is not going to be passed. Lonzo Ball plays phenomenal defense. 6.6 seconds to go. It's going to take a half hour to get this thing going again.
And you wonder if the officials could charge Oregon with a technical
foul.
for the crowd storming the court. The game is not over.
Okay, 0.8 when it hits the bottom of the net.
The official review, they're going to put 0.8 seconds back on the clock, it appears. Now, luckily for Oregon, the ball was not thrown in play. And if the ball had been thrown in play, then a technical could have been assessed.
Say that again and explain
If
that.
a ball had been thrown in play by UCLA. So the clock stops now, 0.8.
Yes, okay, I got that part. But if you can call it technical, I mean, the ball didn't have to be in bounds.
But there was a stoppage, therefore they will not call the technical. It's come into play before a few times. In fact, a game Oregon was involved with a number of years ago. Because the crowd would have interrupted play, therefore a technical could have been called against Oregon.
If it could have been called, why didn't they call it?
Because the ball was not put in play. If the ball was put in play, then there was an interruption to the game. Therefore, the clock was stopped after the main basket. Therefore, that's why a technical will not be assessed.
You can't be serious. That wasn't a that wasn't a disruption of the game.
It clearly was.
Okay, so why is that not a technical? Please, the referee's job is to make it fair.
And the coordinator of Pac-12 officiating, Bobby Deibler, is here tonight at Matthew Knight Arena. And Alford, who missed the free throw, the front end of a 1-and-1. And Oregon came down, and Dylan Brooks hits a three, and now there's 0.8 of a second remaining.
Okay, so UCLA ball
on the
baseline. Okay, so they got to throw the ball up the court. Don't have Lonzo Ball is going to have to receive this. But Dylan Ennis is just locked in him, and you got Boucher pressuring TJ Leaf.
who can run the baseline.
One play, history on the line. Nobody's guarding Thomas Weber. They're spending time wiping up the floor down there. Jordan Bell.
Jordan Bell's helping Vern Harris over there.
Come on. When was the last time you saw the referee with the broom? We've seen it all tonight here.
There are 0.8 of a second remaining.
If you're Oregon, don't get back cut. Make your player receive going away from the basket. If you're UCLA, get on the move. You've got no time.
Lonzo Ball, and UCLA is unbeaten no more. Oregon is knocked off number 2 UCLA.
The second court storming in the same game. This is unacceptable. Congratulations to a great game by the Oregon Ducks. The safety and security of the players and the fans got to be paramount, though.
Dylan Brooks, the hero. A season-high 23 points as Oregon has won their 34th in a row at home, 10 straight this season, and they knock UCLA from the ranks of the unbeaten.
The series of dreams, the umbrellas are folded.
Sports Center is next. The Ducks win it. Good night from Eugene.